When people are like, no, stop it. We don't want to see the stick. We just want to see the car. We don't care about you. Dad was like, are you doing drugs? Because why are there so many cars coming in every week? Why?
What's going on?
Put alarm. What's this? First things first, there's no such thing as a perfect car. That's the first rule of the game. I've heard of instances like that and I don't really appreciate it because it's like, guys, then what is the point of us having these conversations? Because we need to tell the people about your product and I'm telling them for free what's good and what's bad about it. But I'll never ever now go and be like, hey, why am I like, now you're asking all these big corporate guys.
You just thought it's just driving?
Yeah, now it's like, drive, go home, drive, film, shoot, whatever. Sharp, get to hurrying high.
Yo.
No, I hate sometimes you'll read a comment like, oh, man, then Joe, like it's fine. Like, I got that one once there. I was like, how guys mostly
it's like, bro.
Oh my
you don't even know my life.
That's the thing. What we put out there is not real.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, maybe that's why you're still single. I don't know, like, hey, boss, I got born.
And you're live on Dead Radio.
Welcome to another episode of Dead Radio with your boy Ini, and today we have another special guest, because you know how we do with special guests. I'm going to let her introduce herself, and then we're going to get into a story and try and extract as many jewels for you guys. Yeah.
Hi guys, my name is Rebaneilwe Semakane. I am a motoring reviewer and content creator, jack of all trades, master of none, and I'm happy to be here.
Jack of all trades, master of none. I love that. I love that. How are you doing today?
I'm good. And yourself?
I'm good. Can't complain. Let's start your story from the beginning. Where are you from?
I am from Pretoria North.
Pretoria North.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was born and bred there.
Okay. Zapitor.
Yeah.
Okay.
The real one.
The real one. Yeah.
The North is the real one.
Yeah.
So I was born and bred there, and yeah, basically lived my whole life in Pretoria.
In Pretoria. What type of kid were you?
I was very unorthodox, very inquisitive, very talkative. But in the same breath, I was very insecure, very self-conscious about everything about myself, about the way I look, how I feel about myself, you know, the people that I mingle with. Always tried to find some sort of validation as a kid. But I think in terms of I outgrew it. Maybe some days you do go back to that little kid that
I think we all have that.
Yeah, you're just so unsure of what you're doing in life and unsure of like all the things that are happening. But yeah, I think I had a very colorful childhood. It was really nice.
Where do you think that curiosity and the unorthodox element of yourself came from? Have you always just been an inquisitive person?
I always have been. I wouldn't say it's from either of my parents. I've just been an outlier because I'm just very out there at home. Like I think maybe I took it from my dad. My dad was in radio for the longest of time before.
Your dad was in radio?
Yeah, he was in radio. It was long before I was born, and then when he moved to Pretoria, he moved to working for the government. But he was in radio from the 70s, I think, somewhere there.
Damn, that's such a crazy nugget. Yeah. Okay, so high school. What type of person were you? Same thing?
I was actually very annoying in high school.
What do you mean by that?
I was just so talkative.
Okay.
I think when I think of high school, I just had the time of my life for that 5 years. I did not give a care
at
in the
all.
World. Like every day when I go to school, like I'm gonna have a good time. I wasn't disruptive as in calling parents every time, but also but within reason, you know. And yeah, then I remember just being that girl. Every morning I'd hang with the girls, and then when the gents come, yeah, guys, okay, let's talk. Okay, who was playing last night? All right, cool, sharp. There's this car that I saw. What do you guys want to, you know? So that always was the thing in high school.
Was there an interest in cars at that time?
It happened mainly, I think it started in grade 10.
Grade 10.
Yeah, around about when I was 16. Prior to that, I already had one favorite car. I had a favorite car which was the B7 RS4 Audi.
Okay.
So one of the early RS4s, and I was like, this is. But it just ended there. Like I was just like,
and
this is a
what
nice
that was
car.
a love from an aesthetic.
Yeah,
perspective,
I was
not
like,
a functional.
Yeah, I was like, this is a nice car. I like this thing.
Okay,
That's it.
Okay.
I used to play with toy cars growing up, sure, but I was just like, okay, that's it. It's fun. This is fun for me. And then I stumbled on Top Gear, and I used to record the whole season and watch it religiously after school. So that the next day I have a trump card over the boys because they were watching football and I'd watch the cars.
Okay, so you watched Top Gear, got all that information, you're like, I'm going to use this tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, so end of high school, what's your perspective on the world in terms of like careers? What are you
I did not
leaning towards at that time?
I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Okay.
I was just very unsure.
Just like most 18-year-olds
Just like
or
most
17-year-olds.
So I wanted to become an attorney.
Okay.
I wanted to become an advocate. I wanted to become a cardiologist. I wanted to become this, that, and the third. I wanted to become a psychiatrist. I was like, I just want to do anything and everything.
Yeah.
So I started at Tuks for about 3 years and then I left. I was like, I can't
What were
do
you
this.
studying?
I was studying a BA law. And I was like, guys, this is not for me. I'm out.
Okay.
So it was a bit of a tough time for me, a very turbulent time because I didn't know what's the plan. And I remember one morning my dad came to me. He's like, okay, what do you want to do? Because, okay, do you want to go to private school? Like what? Where do you want to go now? Like, what should we do? And I was like, you know what, dude? Don't worry. I'm going to go to a public university. I think private is very expensive, but I'll make a plan. I'm going to go to a public university. And I think the following year, UJ had late applications. So I skimmed through them, and I was like, okay, which would spark my interest? So while I was studying that BA law, I had a huge love for public law. I had a huge love for anything that has to do with the government, anything that has to do with all three spheres of government,
So
the legislation, provincial government, local government. What? I had a huge love for all of those things.
Sparked by?
I don't know, like politics in J, social, current affairs, everything that's happening in the country. I had a love for it, and I think I still do. Then I saw that UJ had a bit of space for public administration. Then I quickly researched, like, what is it? I was like, oh, okay, maybe I can try this out. And I enjoyed it. I went to UJ.
Now you finally found
and I was like, I love it. And I think it comes from how when you're a kid, you're so talkative, you're inquisitive. So people are like, yeah, you should become a lawyer. But then you should become a politician because So I think it just became a thing.
Okay.
And when I graduated with it, I was like, actually, you know what? I don't feel like I wasted any of those years. I had to find myself in there.
True.
And I'm even now planning on doing my honors in it. So a lot of people think I've studied journalism, but I want to actually take it further.
And you're live on Dead Radio.
Whoa. Damn. I know you want this bag. Let's just be honest. Well, here's your chance to win it. Step 1. Join and become a member by clicking the link in the description below. Step 2. Comment under this video. Step 3. Relax. Jaiz. Here's what we're going to do. All the members are going to be entered into a raffle. Each of those members will be assigned a number. And to make sure that nothing is biased, we will use Google Number Generator to pick a winner.
And you're live on Dead Radio.
So you actually didn't study journalism. Okay, I want to ask you something, right? Your opinion on this. I have a theory that people who aren't traditionally trained in a specific field always do better than people who are traditionally trained in that field. What's your perspective on that?
I mean, I guess, but it's a two-sided coin because
it is.
You can't now just walk into George Mukari and operate.
That's true. That's true.
Or you can't just become walk in and become a nurse and whatever. But I think in certain fields, there is some truth to it because someone who studied drama might not have the same personality or acting skills as someone who wakes up and puts up TikToks and enacts the shows
and
on
didn't
TV
go to school
and
for
didn't
it
go
at
to school
all.
for it. It's same with people who are probably chefs. They went to school for being a chef, but the home cook, it does a bit better. You know, same with person who studied maybe communication for radio, but then you get someone who's out of the field who's a better broadcaster.
I also think that being traditionally trained in something, well, in the industries that we're talking about, it puts your thinking into a box. And when you're not traditionally trained in that, you think and view that industry in a different way. That's
true.
how I see it.
That's true. Because I think if I had studied journalism, I wouldn't be as open-ended as I am.
Yeah, you'd be in a box.
I'd be in a
there's a certain
way of doing things.
So
I fully agree with you. There is some, obviously, some nuances to this whole conversation, but yeah.
Yeah, guys, don't go to the hospital.
You guys are operating now.
Okay, so did you finish that degree?
Yes, I did.
So you finish it, and then now the world awaits you.
Yeah, now
what's the next?
I'm already in the industry at this time. I was already getting test cars while I was in UJ.
How? Let's stop right there.
Really?
How does that
So
even happen?
2019, when I moved to UJ,
Okay.
I was working for a certain publication, but then I felt a bit hindered. I felt like there's no growth here. You know, there's not much of anything. Like, not really in that sense. I just felt a bit like my steps are being guided by someone, you know?
Okay.
And this is not to say, oh no, that wasn't a good stepping stone. It was a great stepping stone, but I just felt like,
And do you have a social media presence? Like, do people know you as a car expert? Or
Yes. But this was even before the cars have come about. So I used to tweet about them, post about them. So even while freelancing for this publication, people knew me outside of the publication.
Okay.
So then I think about March of that year in 2019, I was like, hey, man, it's you, I could see you, thank you. So then I left, and I was probably down and out for a month or two. Then I got a test car, my first test car.
In layman's terms, your first test car means what exactly?
So your first test car is basically the car that you get on your own accord. This is what you have literally gone through the trenches for. This is who you've emailed all the brands, you've emailed every single person under the sun. And you're taking contacts that you got from your previous job, and you're just adding onto it and trying to build something of yourself.
Okay.
And then it came, but it came at it was around Easter, so I didn't have it for long. Okay. So they brought it, and then when Easter holidays started, I think they took it just a few days after.
What was your first?
It was a Ford Figo.
Okay.
It was a little blue Ford Figo. It was the cutest thing ever.
Okay.
I was in love with it.
Yeah.
And then right after, I think I got a Kia Rio. And to be honest, the rest of that year, I don't remember what I drove.
Basically,
I don't remember. I think I'll see my Instagram. That was this. But those are most two prominent ones in my inception days. Yeah. After that, I get.
And what were you writing? Because now you're independent at that time, right?
Yes.
So are you shooting content, like video content? Are you writing?
I'm writing. Because I think that's what I know from the publication. The way for me to make this thing work. Pictures are there, are nice, but I need to put my thoughts on paper. And
then where are you distributing these thoughts?
These are, I think I had a little bit of a makeshift website on WordPress.
Okay.
You know, just very
one
amateur.
of those WordPress.
Yeah, the WordPress domain is a little thing. So you have
shout out to WordPress.
Yeah, no, put us all on.
Yeah.
So that makeshift one, you know, putting thoughts on Twitter, Threads, Instagram. So I did not know what kids like at the time.
Yeah, because you're building your media portfolio and catalog, but you're just doing.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay.
This is what I feel like.
I don't know what I'm doing. And yeah, I think then 2020 happened, 2021. I think I only got into video And I started this channel, actually, funny enough. The channel has been active since 2016. But it was dormant.
You weren't doing anything.
It was dormant for many years. And then I think I only picked up the camera and started uploading in 2021.
What pushed you in that direction?
I don't know. I won't even lie to you. When they say the rest is history, I think it's because Olivedes. I don't know. Because I was just like, okay, cool. No.
I've done this thing.
That reel is one of my first reviews. I remember. That was around then. That was one of the first reviews I did. Because they said YouTube is a thing. Now, you're still studying at this time, you've left a university before, now you're going to another one. Obviously, there's pressure to get
feta.
Saflo.
Don't waste time.
Don't waste time. Feta. Take the second chance, run with it.
Yo.
So, make sure that you're on the ball. But I was filming very sporadically. And then over that 2019 to 2021 period, I just find time between classes to just take the car and film. Whatever. Okay. And it was very shoddy, guys. It was poor. It was just like, I'm just putting something out. But there's times where I'd get very stagnant and leave it because the views were not viewing. Now you upload and you only get 1,000 views after 2 weeks.
I hear that.
Now you're just like, it's fine. Let me just.
That is one thing that always discourages people from putting content out.
Yes. Because now you put your first piece of content out and you get 5 likes and you're like, okay. Fine.
Suck.
Yeah, why? And then So there's times when I just became a bit stagnant.
What made you eventually get over that hurdle and be like, okay, maybe I should actually try and be more consistent? Because that's actually where the views come from.
That was mainly after, when was it? Probably after varsity.
Okay.
I started to be like, okay, let's try different things. Now, this is your trial and error phase.
Yes.
Now you're like, okay, cool. Let's try not to make the channel too car-oriented. Let's try to make it lifestyle. Let's do some vlogs. Now you do the vlogs of when you're at launches, whatever, and people are like, no, stop it. We don't want to see the stick. We just want to see the car. We don't care about you.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, okay, sharp, guys. Sorry. I'm leaving the vlogs. So it's all a trial and error kind of thing.
Trying to figure it out.
You're trying to make it, you're trying to appeal to a mass market. But now people are like, no, we don't care much about the vlogs. We just want to see the car. And then now you move, okay, cool. Let's keep it to a minimum. Okay, if you want to do a lifestyle element. So you just trial and error and trial and error. Yeah.
Okay. Damn. What are your parents at this time saying about this car thing in your life? What's their perspective on it?
What's funny is that none of them have ever discouraged me.
Okay.
They've just been intrigued. Every week there's something coming in and out. So one of the first, when the early years, my dad was like, are you doing drugs? Because why are there so many cars coming in every week? Why?
What's going on?
What's this? Then I had to explain. I was like, no, this is what I do, whatever. It's like, oh, okay, cool, sharp. And then now they just like, okay, cool, what are you driving this week? They even intrigued as to what I'm driving. So they have, what's funny enough, even after I've strayed from what I conventionally studied, they've never been like, okay, but you need to do this, that, and the third, whatever. They're just like, okay, so they're just those people.
And being in such a male-dominated industry, right? How have you dealt with being a female in this space?
You just put your head down.
Yeah. And do the work.
The work. Because if with Nelawashimande and the guys, you will be down and out. You'll fall off. You'll definitely fall off. Because they are very intimidating, I won't lie. They're very intimidating.
Are they?
Yeah, the guys are very intimidating.
Okay.
And you start to have a bit of an identity crisis because I always feel like, and I think this is what the motoring industry, they don't understand, especially the men in the industry. There's a certain privilege that you guys have based on the fact that you're a man. I'm not taking away your talent or your merit.
Yes.
Your merit is there, your talent is there. But you'll always have a bit of a neck above me because you're a male. That's what I'm trying, like the male privilege is there.
It exists. But obviously...
But for them,
it's
it's a thing of, you are in the same spaces as us. Why Obalawal? I'm like, yeah, I know I'm in the same spaces as you, sure. But there are certain things that I feel your career will be accelerated as opposed to mine because you're a guy. And it's fine. Now I don't have stress. I'm doing my own thing. I'm just like making you aware of don't treat everything so linear and be like, no, the privilege is there. Let's talk about it. Let's be aware of it.
Most people who have privilege don't know they have privilege. You know what I mean? So I can't even blame them.
Yeah, I keep us so. It's never a heated conversation like where we're now. It's a tug of war, butting heads. But it's like, guys, you must be aware of it. You guys have a bit of a competitive advantage, and it's fine. What else can we do?
Okay, I want to talk about like more in depth in terms of being a journalist or a car journalist or a motorhead. Yeah. How do you actually make money in that industry if you don't work for a major publication?
Yeah. No, that's actually a very tricky conversation because the cars are not paid. All the cars that come in, no manufacturer gives us money for it. Because once you take money from a manufacturer, your review will be compromised. Because like, so you must say something good about my car.
Which is a second part of the question, which is how do you stay...
Yeah, you have to just be like, guys,
free.
I'm very impartial. Yeah. I'm not biased.
Not
so
biased.
I just want your product for review. And you have to now, in this space, have to find a way to monetize your platform,
so
right?
That's the YouTube.
That's how you get probably your campaigns for Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever. So you have to just make sure you're monetizing, you're building your numbers, especially if you're in the more content creator realm, right? A lot of the journals that I work with work full-time jobs. So obviously their social media presence isn't as accelerated because obviously they're working every day in an office. But when they have the time, they still film and whatever. So that's also another form of passive income, right? So it varies from person to person, but from what I know, unless I stand to be corrected, I don't ask for money from the brands, especially when it comes to the test cars, the weekly cars that we get. I just, please, let me review, and then take it from there.
And maybe they won't bribe you directly, but how do you maintain relationships with these different brands when they know that there's a potential that Reba could shit on our brand or a new car, or like, how do you stay unbiased, truthful, and still maintain the relationship with Audi or BMW or whoever?
First things first, there's no such thing as a perfect car. That's the first rule of the game. Every car has its perks, every car has its downfalls. We have so many conversations on these quids and these espressos and all these things, but guys, there's a reason why those cars exist. Not everyone has the money to jump into a Swift or a Polo Vivo straight out of varsity. True. These cars come in at a very competitive price. Yes, safety is questionable, whatever, but instead of having to wake up where takes at 3 a.m, you have your car just outside. You can just get in and go. So conversations like that, yes, you can take that product and say, I'm not happy with the safety features, whatever, sure. But I understand why it's there. So that's rule number 1. No car is perfect.
It's perfect.
That's how you must also be. And also the manufacturers know what they're giving you. They know this product. They know its shortfalls. And even when you highlight that you don't like something, qualify it. Okay, I don't like this bottle of water. Why? Because of this, that, and the thing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's it. That's it. If brands now decide to be a bit finicky and say, no, we didn't like what you said, whatever. I've heard of instances like that, and I don't really appreciate it, because it's like, guys, then what is the point of us having these conversations? Because we need to tell the people about your product, and I'm telling them for free what's good and what's bad about it. But I'll never ever now go and be like, maybe I can say to you, hey, I wouldn't recommend, because at the end of the day, I'm not speaking for me. I also have to think of the person that's watching this review.
The audience.
Because this person, I might not like the car and be like, hey, not for me, I'm good. But if you like it, I'd say, okay, look at this, or that's how you have to literally make sure you skim through it very, very carefully and use your words wisely. Don't also be sensationalist. Don't take what people take on social media and use it on your reviews or whatever. If it's in a banterous way, sure, you can banter with the cars, it's fine. That's what we do in the reels. But if there's things that are very derogatory and things like, because if I can put it into perspective, when I got the Mercedes-Benz V-Class. There's obviously a video that circulated
Okay.
of an incident,
Yes.
and people expecting me to use that term, and I was like, I can't use that term.
Okay, I get
because
you. I get you.
It's for me. It was very. I even hated the video. I was like, that's a very derogatory video. But already people have that. This is what the car is called,
and they want you.
to attribute to it. This is what the car is like. I can't do that because I'm also looking at my brand also and who I am. I can't. So things like that.
Do you think, because even just before we went online, when we were talking about how car video content is quite technical, right? Now, do people tune into different car personalities based off the spice that they add on, your character? Because anyone can tell me about why this bottle top is the best bottle top, right? Which is the technical side. But then if I add my personal character on top of that, people are more likely to watch my content. Is that something that you have to deal with? Like, instead of just keeping it 1,000% technical, do you find you have to add your personality on top?
You have to.
You have to.
For viewer retention.
Yeah.
People need to resonate with you. It has to be a bit conversational.
Yes.
Even if you're being technical, it should be like, how do the gents Braai-Stand chats?
Yes.
So you guys stand and you just have a normal conversation.
Braai-Stand.
It's a Braai-Stand chat. So you guys have a conversation and you pick up from one another, whatever. Same with us, how we do our video reviews. For me, I like to add humor. I like to kind of also bring in what I've experienced growing up or where I'm from, my daily life, into the car. Like, guys, the roads in Pretoria are not great. I don't think this car will work here.
This one won't work.
Yeah, things like that. If you have an electric car, where I stay, charging points are very far out of reach. So obviously you need to speak to that people that in that demographic. We live in this area. Okay, if I get an electric car, she knows there's no charging spots here, but they are wherever. So that's what I try to do. I try to just bring in my daily life into the content.
Your content,
yes. And also you need to be up to date with what's happening on the socials. Maybe there's a car that has a new term. Because I didn't know the D-Max is no gwaj. For a long time, I was like, guys, I'm seeing this video of a D-Max. Why is it no gwaj? Then tell me, explain.
So, there's something I really have been dying to find out, right? Why do you think, as a car journalist, right? Why aren't car brands being created in South Africa? Or in Africa in the larger context?
It's a money thing. And
I
think it's a money thing also, and look at how all the manufacturers are more legacy brands.
Yeah.
Your BMWs, your Audis, Volkswagens, all of them come from some sort of
100 years.
Yeah. The newer brands, obviously, they didn't just wake up and come out now. It's also a legacy thing. But I think maybe it's just the more funding. Probably there are people who are sitting on a gold mine of a great local manufacturer.
Because the money is there.
They
maybe the willpower.
Yes, maybe the funding is needed to get this thing up and running. And also, I think a lot of the plants are now being, in terms of the manufacturing industry, plants are now being occupied by the more bigger manufacturers, who have more money and more resources and more capital. So I really do think it's a money thing. I think that the potential is there, because there were rumors, or I saw something on Twitter about there was a locally
electric car?
Yeah, something
I
like
think
that.
I might have seen that.
Yeah, so I was like, even if it's hearsay, the fact that there's a little seed plant, I think it just needs funding. It just needs quite a lot of money.
And obviously and I thought cars becoming electric would have maybe helped to speed that process.
Yeah.
Or is that an immature or ignorant way to think of that?
I think electric cars are still a bit, we still need some time. We really need some time.
Yeah.
ICE vehicles are going to be a thing for now, especially for a lot of South Africans. Abroad, yes, the rollout has been a bit quicker, but here it's going to take a bit of time, especially to sway South Africans to now move from petrol and diesel to fully electric.
fully
That's
electric.
why I always vouch for hybrids. Plug-in hybrids, the more it's both, and it's absolutely great. So I think hybrids are the way to go for now. So electric vehicles, it's going to take some time, but it's coming along very well, and I think we shouldn't be scared of them. We shouldn't be adverse to them. They are great little products, guys. They're actually very refreshing to be in because there's no engine noise. There's no engine. It's just batteries.
I've never been in an electric car. Is that your favorite car to drive around in?
No, not really.
Okay.
No, I still miss the
petrol.
The grunt of combustion and the cylinders going wild.
Yeah, that.
But electric cars are refreshing to be in, and it's also nice to see the tech and how how cars are progressing in the world and in the world we live in.
Damn. Yeah, especially in a country like South Africa, we still have a long way.
We need more access to the charging pods. We need to make it a compelling case for a lot of South Africans. Load shedding needs to be alleviated.
Let's just start there.
Yeah, just like those small things, because some of these charging points are independent, but sometimes when load shedding hits, they don't work. So now you're a bit stranded and you're low on electricity, So, but it just needs proper planning. The way we plan when load shedding hits, okay, I need to charge this, that, and the third. It's similar with an electric car.
Okay. So if there's a young woman out there who's watching this interview, right, who loves cars, wants to get into the space, but just doesn't know where to begin, how would you advise them to at least, what are the first couple of steps?
Just start.
Okay.
We are so fixated in trying to get all the fancy equipment first, all the editing stuff first, guys. Your phone is there at your disposal. Use it. Whatever phone it is, use it. Go out there, go to a dealer, take pictures, tell us about the car. If you spot some cars coming on the highway that have just docked, new releases, those things like that, just put it with us, especially if you're in the more content creation space. Register on MotorPress and QuickPick. Be up to date with all the news.
Sorry, register on?
MotorPress. And
what is that?
MotorPress is a hub where all the manufacturers send information about all the new releases.
These are the keys.
Yeah, so you need to be on MotorPress. You need to know what's happening in the industry. You need to know who to speak to, because all the manufacturers' details and the PR managers and people you want to get in touch with are on that information, So everything is easily accessible, but just start. Look at how all your favorite content creators started. Look at how all your favorite influencers, radio broadcasters, your TV people, how they started. They didn't just sit and say, oh no, I'm waiting for this company to just come and scoop me up. They went into the trenches. They went out on the ground. They were doing community radio. They were doing vlogs with their phones, guys. Editing was poor. The transitions were mad. It was just crazy. But look at where they are now. So always take that. You have to start somewhere. You really have to start. You have to start somewhere.
Especially with whatever you have. Right?
Whatever you have, guys. And I think a lot of us have access to really fancy phones, whatever.
True.
Just go out there. The world is your oyster. Just go and start. Whatever niche you're in, whether you're in beauty, whether you're in makeup, whether you're in fashion, whether you're in sport, whatever. Just go.
What are some of the preconceived ideas you had about the car industry before you actually got in, and what are they now? How did that change? Because usually before you enter into an industry, you're like, oh, it's probably like this, it's probably like that. But once you're in there, you're like, oh, snap.
Yeah, I didn't know much about it. I mean, what you see on Top Gear is just the cars. I thought it was just cars. I thought it was just, okay, I'm going to get this car every week. Okay, who's sharp?
Yeah.
Didn't know that there's something called a launch. Okay, it's launching, but I didn't know that I have to be there and drive this thing around. It's like things like that. I didn't know that I have to now read up on these things. Oh, okay, it's releasing. Okay, I need to break the news. Okay, sharp. This car is now coming into whatever. I didn't know that I have to answer people's questions. I mean, you go to events now, you post, okay, I'm at this event, and people are like, please ask them X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z. Now you're in there like, hey, why am I, like, now you're asking all these big corporate guys.
You just thought it's just driving?
Yeah, now it's like, drive, go home, drive, film, shoot, whatever, sharp, get to hurrying high. Guy. Now you get to a launch event, and people now, you log into your Twitter or your DMs, hi, we're seeing that you're at this launch, please ask them what. Now you have to be like, hey, okay, my brother, I'll ask. So it's never, like, it was just jarring for me to realize that you actually need to also be in a position where these brands have to trust you with the launches also. Because the cars are one thing to get, but being invited to a media launch is a big thing.
Oh, is that more
because they spend money on you
prestigious than them sending you a car?
There's two sides to the coin with that one.
Okay.
But for them, it's because they're spending so much money on you. Your flights, your accommodation, all the fancy food, all the things, and the cars have to come and all the stuff. So they have to get value out of bringing you there.
Okay.
So if I go to a launch and I just decide to be like, I'm not doing anything. I'm not going to post. I'm not going to do anything. Obviously, yes, other people will have posted. But then it's like, Rubile saying because how is that next? Are you going to do an article? Are you going to do something? But we know you as the most social guy. So stories, whatever. Something. Movement. So it's those kind of things because they spend quite a lot of money on you. So initially, we'd get, I think in my earlier days, I'd be like, why am I not invited? Why am I not there? Then I was like, hey, my sister, like, you have to work your way out. You have to prove yourself. Yes. And I'm like, and even now, even with, after the 5 years I've been in this industry, there are still events I don't go to. But it doesn't affect me as much anymore because I'm like, it's fine.
You don't go to because you're not invited?
Yes, because we're not invited. And for me, now you don't take it
personally.
You don't take it as an attack to your publication. You're just like, I get okay, sharp, it's fine.
Just keep it moving.
You keep it moving because, man, there's only, in your early days, you get that frustration. Why am I not at this event? Why am I not getting this car? Why am I not this? And then after, you're just like, okay.
But that's why I'm saying, like, how do you, that balance of like, I'm not going to be biased. Yeah, they didn't invite me, right, to the event. But I'm not going to write a shit review.
You can't, because then you're severing ties, you're ruining relationships. The most important thing in motoring, and what I feel like, I think it's just in general with content creation or whatever, it's relationship management.
Relationships. That's
guys,
everything.
you can get the cars, it's fine, but they must know you. They must have a sense of like affiliation to you. Reba's coming to my event, I can talk to her and greet her and speak to her. Don't be a robot. Like, chat to them. Even if you email them, I for me, when I email, I try not to be too corporate. I'm just like, hello, Auntie Mamang, hello, whatever. Hi, how are you? Okay, no, cool, smiley face. Personal touch. It has. They have to. I always feel like, even if some respond in a more serious way, but if you read an email from someone just being a bit more interactive, conversational with you, you'll feel a bit more like relaxed. So it's all about relationship management with motoring, guys. Even when they reject you, when they say, no, we're not going to give you the car now, don't now go back and be like, but why? Always getting this car. Always what? Just be like, okay, sharp, thank you. Then you gotta try again in like 6 months. That's what I always tell people. If they reject you,
try again in 6 months.
6 months or a year. Just, they'll always, and the fact that you come back, I get you're improving in that 6 months. I know you have a bit of time to improve on your content. Also, with the people that you speak to, ask them, where do I improve? I do that even now. I mean, I email them, okay, I would like to do this. What do you think I need to do?
Okay.
You are not immune to learning. You'll never stop learning.
Don't be afraid of criticism.
Don't be afraid of criticism.
And you're live on Dead Radio. And you're live on Dead Radio.
In the beginning, it will hurt, guys. I don't know how many tears I've cried.
Yeah.
I just felt like, hey, maybe I should leave.
Yeah.
But then after a while, you're just like, well, all of these negative emails have actually shaped you into who you are now. And even in this, like where I am now, I still take the criticism. Even if it's not from the manufacturers, I take it from the people.
Okay.
And the people are a bit more mean than the OEM.
Oh no, they'll tell you.
The people, sometimes you're like,
But how do you tell the difference between hate and constructive criticism?
But I guys, hate you can see it. I know, hate you can see.
Yeah, and it's very direct.
Yeah, hate is very direct.
Yeah, because it's just like.
Because criticism is a bit more extra-born. Like,
yeah,
I don't like this.
I feel like
Mara, maybe you can do this. Mara, more I wait for. Like, no.
Because hate is just like yo.
No, hate, sometimes you'll read a comment like, oh, man, then like it's fine. Like Josh, because I try not to be. I try when I see other content creators or whatever. I try not to. Even if I want to criticize, I just stay away from it because I'm like, you guys know how tough it is just to pick up a camera or pick up a phone and put it up there and expose yourself to the world.
True.
The last thing someone needs is to be told, you're not good enough, you know nothing. Hey, you should not do this. It's hard, guys. And I always take this even in a corporate setting when you walk into an office. You are just coming in or you've been working here, you make a mistake here and there. How would you feel if your manager came and be like, I know useless, whatever. I feel like let's just kind of take it the same way. Maybe people disagree and be like, no, it's not the same. But if I'm exposing my personality and myself and who I am to you, and you don't resonate with it, it's fine. It really is okay.
I get you.
But I think sometimes just people get a bit too over familiar and then they just start hating. And you're like, guys, okay,
sure.
So then you start to feel like, hey, maybe I should just call it quits.
Yeah, let me just call it quits.
Yeah,
but
nah.
You can't listen to the internet.
Yeah,
right?
you have to just wake up the next morning and be like, hey, what are we driving this week? Okay, sure. Let's go full. That's it.
Damn. I want to talk a little bit about when they send you cars.
Yeah.
Like, what's that whole process like?
It's a very chilled process. So you email first. Hey, I'm looking for this car. When is it available?
So you have to email the brand directly, not a dealership.
No. We speak to the brands directly.
Okay.
And they have a media fleet.
Okay.
That media fleet is run by a company. It's either in-house or it's outsourced. It's all up to them. So you speak to the PR manager or the marketing manager or whoever is in charge. That person will direct you to the fleet manager. Be like, okay, this is who you speak to. If you want cars, can you please speak to this person?
They'll talk to you. Okay.
Then you go to them and say, hey, Kebatla, this, that, and the third. These are the dates that I have. That's how I do it. These are the dates that I have. Is it available? They check. Okay, no, it's available. Sharp. The day arrives. It's the morning. They usually bring them in the mornings. So around between 9 and 12. Unless you guys make different arrangements. Like, hey, I'm not available. Or bring it whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
Then they bring the car. You sign it off. You need to read also the fine print, guys. You need to read everything.
What are some of the terms and conditions?
If anything happens and it's negligent, whatever, you are liable for the excess.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's found that it was due to negligence or stuff like that. But they do tell you, no, if an incident happened, be aware that maybe you could be liable. There's the excess. They tell you, okay. So don't be trigger happy, take side. Read.
Read what you're...
Read. Okay, sharp. Guys are okay. More. Hello, Hakawate, you're going to 5 block. It's fine.
Okay.
I know. Sharp.
Okay.
You also...
The cars are insured, right?
They're all insured, yes.
Okay.
And then after that, when those guys are around, you check for all the damages. Like, okay, they'll tell you, okay, there's no damages. Or they'll tell you, okay, there's a stone chip here, there's this, that, and the third there. Hore. Hey, Buella, it's nothing new.
Okay.
Okay, now it's not like you incurred it during your time with it. You've already noted it down. You write down, you have to do the check and whatever, just run around it. Sharp, they leave you for the week. You can live your best life, go do whatever
So then it's a week.
It's a week.
And then you get to do whatever you want.
You like.
It sounds amazing.
I mean, you can't cross the border.
Yeah, obviously, but like...
Yeah, you can do whatever.
Yeah.
You
can drive from Joburg to Cape Town and back.
Unless there's a mileage cap, because some brands will be like, there's a mileage cap. But obviously, with things like that, speak to them first. Even when I do a normal out of town, if I leave Gauteng, I'm like, guys, for this weekend, I'm not going to be around. Yeah. So if anything happens while I'm in KZN or wherever, at least they're aware.
Okay.
So you need to... I think it's also like treating it better than you would your own car.
Yeah, obviously.
Because it's It's
not
shade.
your car.
It's shade. Like someone else has planned for it. Yeah, I mean, then you drive around, you do the review, you upload, and then people either laugh at you or make fun of you, or they praise you. You never know.
Okay. Damn. Being a car journalist sounds amazing, but it also sounds tough. What are the things that you don't like about
I think the only thing I have aversion to is it's a bit of the comments sometimes. I don't speak about it on my platforms or my channels, but it does get to me. I think people don't realize that there's a real person behind this whole the person that's singing on the YouTube there's a real person. So there's some comments where you're like, hey, okay.
That was unnecessary.
That was unnecessary. You know, even on the TikTok when I post some of the reels, it's like, okay, is that really necessary? Whatever. So that's one thing that I'm trying to kind of navigate and be like, don't take it too personally, because I do have a tendency of taking things a bit too personally. So that's one of the things that I really don't like. But in terms of the industry itself, I think I've gotten so much support from everyone that I work with. Yes, obviously there's some people that you don't get along with. I think it's the same in any.
Yeah, that's just life.
Yeah, so there's not. Life. I can't be like, I'm bored. From this publication with us all. So like, at the end of the day, we are there to serve our publication's interests. We are there to also be a very well organized ecosystem. We get there, we drive the cars, and we are here to serve the general public and give you guys the reviews that you need, let you know which cars are here, all those kind of things. So I think all my quarrels maybe stem from just the criticism and the comments that you get. I mean, like we said before, there is a line between criticism and hate.
Yeah.
When criticism comes, you're like, oh, actually, maybe I did miss that.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks.
Sharp.
I didn't see that.
That. Thank you. Yeah. Or maybe, hey, please do this next time. Okay, sharp. Remember, next car, Iraso. Yeah. But then there's someone who'll just come in.
This is why you're single. It's like, bro.
I got that one once there. I was like, how guys mostly like.
It's like, bro.
Oh my God.
You don't even know my life.
That's the thing. What we put out there is not real.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe that's why you're still single. Like, I don't know. Like, boss, it was all jokes, just jokes. It's just jokes, dog. Like, what else? So those are the kind of things that will, or maybe people, because I mean, we put yourselves out there. I've gotten comments on like when my weight fluctuates. I know I've put on a bit of weight.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so I was like, oh, maybe.
You guys are wilding.
Yeah,
no way.
Yeah, maybe there's a little masave on the way. I'm like, hey, man, guys. It was just December. Niggas was a joke. Like,
nah, so, you guys are wilding. Bro.
So it's those things.
It's those types
and
of things,
you know what? I don't solar people sometimes because they don't really say it out of malice sometimes. Like sometimes you're like, but it's but it's hurtful because like, you're like, I know. Like I know. I don't put on weight. So yeah.
Damn. Okay. As a new age content creator, right? How do you think the traditional mainstream media publications in the car space are dealing with people like you? Like, because I think we spoke a little bit about you being able to get a car now and then doing the review tomorrow, and then it taking them a month to put out their review. How do you think they're dealing with it? What do you think the future of the clash between traditional and new? How are you guys gonna find like equilibrium, or like what's your perspective?
It's still going to be a hierarchy thing.
Yeah.
There's still going to be a sense that these are the journalists who possess the journalism degree, who work for the major publications, or who are the major publications. Traditional media. Then you get us, the more middlemen, the automotive reviewers, who are the more content creators, but also very informative. Then you get the influencers, obviously, that are probably fully just like, okay, we are getting a certain budget from this manufacturer. This is all we can say. And all of us have a a certain role, and all of us have a very positive role in
the ecosystem.
In the ecosystem.
Yeah.
There's always this chat that print is dying out, whatever, but I don't think print is gonna die out like this. It's gonna take some time. It's gonna take some time. And I think even with these major media houses, they're aware of the digital era. They're aware of what's happening. That, okay, no, there's now, you can get a quick review on a car in a minute on TikTok. You can get a quick review on 5 minutes on YouTube. You know, you don't really have to walk into a store and get a physical copy. Now that's why I see a lot of them are now posting reviews online, and then they are paywalls. So now you pay
to get the review.
So it's moving in. Those traditional media will still be there, but probably will be a bit more digitized. There are people that are still keen on holding on to a magazine or a newspaper, and that's fine. But in terms of the clashes, the clashes are very prevalent. We butt heads here and there, especially with the conversation of am I allowed to call myself a car journalist when I didn't go to school for it? And that's why now I'm like, okay, that's fine. I mean, I can never, if someone who possesses the degree or the accolade,
traditional training.
The training, I can't now be like, Rebaneilwe, I'm a motoring journalist. That's why I'll say I'm an automotive reviewer.
Okay.
Do you understand? So we try to just also put that distinction that I review, I'm an automotive reviewer, I'm a motoring reviewer and content creator, because I don't possess that journalist skill. So obviously those kind of things are
that's where you guys butt heads.
And also maybe how they see us as more of I think one major journal said we are amplifiers because we are like posting.
Is that an insult?
I didn't know.
From your perspective.
I was annoyed.
Okay.
And I mean, like I said, I try not to take things personally, but I was like, it doesn't sound very savory. It sounds very condescending, because that's what I was trying to say. Or, yes, you guys say you see as
an influencer, basically.
Whereas I'm not.
I get
because I'm not paid by the brands. If I was paid by the brands, I'd sit here and be like, yeah, sure, I influence cars. I can't influence. It's such a huge purchase. The way I can influence you maybe to buy this water, like guys, get this
water.
Great.
Make sure.
20 rand, whatever. Sure, sharp. A car's like what? Hundreds and thousands?
Hundreds.
And it's a big purchase. But what do I do in my reviews? I say, this is what you should look out for. This is what you can expect, things like that. So I always feel like I'm in the middle. I'm a reviewer. But even with me reviewing, I create content. So if we flip the coin and I possess the journalist degree, but I'm still doing what I'm doing, are they still going to see me as an influencer?
I get what you're saying.
Do you see what I'm trying to say? That we are all doing this thing very differently. And we still need to respect each other and see each other for what we are. We'll always respect the traditional journalists. We'll always respect the influencers. They must also just all respect us. Ever just one continuous and one peaceful thing.
Because everyone needs everyone.
Everyone needs everyone. I love the influencers, man. Like, they come in, they maybe like see something that I don't see. Maybe they attribute this car to something. And like, you guys have a bit of a creative realm that I don't have. The traditional media, they'll tell you about something that's more on the technical side, and you're like, oh, this car possesses that, and you're like, cool. And then we are just coming in the middle. We also impart knowledge there, we impart knowledge there, and we do all the content and the informative content, not more so the lifestyle content. We do like what the car's like, whatever, but we also add our personalities into it, so it's a bit more personal. So I think it's a beautiful ecosystem, and I think that no one should hate on anyone. Like, guys, let's just coexist, man.
Unfortunately, life isn't a utopia, and everyone's not gonna get along.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. What's a new dream that you have right now, right? I'm very curious always about dreams that people have, because dreams evolve, right? And once you get into one door, you find, oh, there's 10 different doors here. And then you pick another door, which then shows you more and more.
More and more.
So what's a new dream that you didn't have when you started being a car journalist that you have right now?
I think there's two.
Okay.
Firstly, I would love to become a broadcaster full time. I'd love to go into radio full time. I've loved it since I was a kid. And
I think
your
dad
it's,
was
yeah.
like,
So I think I take it from him.
I feel you.
But that's one thing. And the second one, I want to grow so much in my field that I have the ability to teach something as intricate as journalism in my later years at a varsity or something like that. That's why I said earlier, I'd love to just further my studies until so that if I decide to be like, I'm closing up shop, I know how to feel like and those are things that I really want to, like, I just want to do everything. Those are top 2 on my list for my life.
And broadcasting, would it have to be specifically about cars, or
no? The whole spectrum for me is fine. I think the craft as it is
of being a broadcaster,
it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. So I loved it and I love it. Every time I have an opportunity to go to radio or even a podcast, I'm just like, let's rock, let's do this, let's have a good time.
Yeah, I always like to know how people's dreams progress. You know what I mean? Because one dream leads to another dream. I want to quickly switch gears, right? I hope it doesn't make you uncomfortable. But I want to talk about the state of the country. It's an election year. It's, and
your
this
vote is a secret.
Hey, I'm not gonna ask you who you're voting for. Guys, these guys don't wanna share that, and I'm just like, cool. But just the state of the country, leadership. What do you think the youth should be doing?
We should go vote.
All of us should go
We should go vote, guys. We really need to be out there. We need to be going out in numbers during election.
Even if I'm politically illiterate, I should still go and vote. Because that's my issue with it, right? Because voting is such a huge responsibility that there should be some form of like...
I think there must be just more conversations on what each party and what the mandates and the policies of each parties are, so that people can make an informed decision. That's I think that is just the gist of it. We just need a whole conversation on everyone. You need to weigh the pros and cons. You need to decide which is best for you and what you want out of this country. But I really think that people should go register and vote. Please, like, guys, register and vote. Go online, register.
But then there are people who, I'm just playing devil's advocate. There are people who are like, my vote doesn't matter.
It does.
Does it?
It does.
Do you believe that
yes,
your vote
every
matters?
vote.
Everyone, guys, please go out there and vote. Obviously, you're not going to share with...
no.
But can we talk about your top 3? Nothing?
No.
Okay. Cool. Guys, please go vote. Please go vote. And then to round off our conversation... what advice do you have for someone out there who is trying to figure it out, is trying to break into not just the car industry, but being a journalist, being an influencer, or someone who has a dream? What advice do you have for someone out there?
First things first, go to school. Okay. Study whatever you're studying, finish it, commit to it. And make sure that everything you do that's social media related, it's on the side. Focus on your exams, focus on everything that you need to do. Get that degree, and even if you don't use it, make sure that you've already put a bit of a backup plan or a stepping stone in place, guys. I would never say to anyone that don't go to school, just drop out and whatever. I don't advocate for that. If you have the means, if you have the resources, and you're able to go to school, whatever you study, commit to it and put your head down, work, study, pass it. Then everything else will fall into place. While you're in your schooling years, go create the content. Maybe after class, go do what you need to do, things like that. Especially if you're starting in a bit of a, when you're still young. I think for people who are in my age, maybe fully fledged in corporate, feeling a bit stuck and want to move into different ways, I always say that do this also in your spare time. On weekends, go and create what you love. share it with us, guys. We are always open to learning new things. I mean, I love all the content that I consume outside of the cars, the vlogs, the mom content, all the cute things that I think people wouldn't expect me to watch. I enjoy it because outside of the girly and the corporate girl content, I love it so much because I'm like, oh guys, this is what you guys do while I do this. So all those kind of things, like, just tap into it. If you want to create the gym content, all the things, have fun with it.
Thanks for tuning in for an amazing sit down. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll be back with another special episode.
And you're live on Dead Radio.